Hi guys. Welcome to my channel. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to my channel. 10 African American people and their inventions. So make sure to watch the full video. 11 Dr. Gladys West. Gladys West for quick access to driving directions and location sharing on Instagram. You can also thank her for changing the landscape of her mapping technology and the way we work every day since she invented GPS, also known as GPS, in a published article titled Technical Specifications of a Data Processing System for Geosat Satellite Radio Altimeters, 1986. She documented the calculations for calculating position with high accuracy using data collected from satellites. Dr. Gladys West is a true example of a lifelong learner despite suffering a stroke in the late 80s that compromised her vision, hearing, and mobility. She earned her PhD 2018. It is only recently that her seminal work in GPS technology, decades after its popular application was applied, became known, thanks to a sorority sister who learned about Gladys' achievements in a short biography written for a senior member of Alpha Kappa Alpha. As a result, she was inducted into the Air Force Space and Rocket Pioneer Hall of Fame in 2018. 10 Lonnie G. Johnson. Lonnie George Johnson was an African-American inventor, aerospace engineer, and entrepreneur who made significant contributions to the development of the Air Force and NASA. One of his most famous contributions, however, is children's toys. He invented two toys close and dear to my childhood, probably yours, the Super Soaker and the Nerf gun, during his time with NASA and the Air Force. Lonnie developed nuclear power plants for the Galileo Jupiter missions, engineered the Mariner Mark LL series of spacecraft for the Comet Rendezvous and Saturn Orbiter probe missions, and with the Stealth Bomber program. 9 Jasmine Crowe. Her social entrepreneur Crowe has been widely praised for her passion for ending her hunger and eliminating her food waste through her company. Gooder is a real-time mobile app that connects businesses and local charities to deliver leftovers to those in need. Crowe and her team deliver food throughout metropolitan Atlanta every day. The company plans to expand to other cities soon after that. Gooder's goal is globalization. Crowe's tireless work has earned her several awards, accolades, and extensive media coverage. 8 John Henry Thompson. Jamaican pioneer of computer science John Henry Michael J.T. Thompson was born on June 15, 1959. His most important contribution to technology was the invention of the Macromedia Director Lingo scripting language. Lingo is the primary programming language inside Adobe Shockwave and has been used to develop desktop software, interactive kiosks, CDs, and Adobe Shockwave content. He also served as a professor of interactive telecommunications at New York University's Tisch School of the Arts. He has also inspired an entire generation of multimedia artists and contributed to the advancement of computer science education in Jamaica. Roy Clay Sr. A black computer science pioneer and one of the first computers, Roy Clay Sr. is known as the godfather of Silicon Valley and had a very successful career as a programmer and scientist. Like Dorothy Vaughan, he started programming in Fortran during the Civil Rights era. As his work became widely known, Hewlett-Packard, HP, hired him to manage their computer design business and help bring the original HP computer, 2116A, to market in 1966. In the 1970s, Clay founded his own company, Rod L Electronics, which is said to be the first tech startup craze in Silicon Valley. He also became involved in local politics, becoming the first African American to serve on the Palo Alto City Council and later being elected deputy mayor in 1976. At the age of 92, Clay still lives in Palo Alto and is still active in Silicon Valley. 7 Valerie Thomas. Do you like viewing images from the vast universe? If so, you have to thank Valerie Thomas. From 1964 to 1995, Thomas worked for NASA developing computer data systems, conducting large-scale experiments, and managing various operations, projects, and facilities. Thomas was born in Maryland in February 1943. She became interested in technology from an early age. At the age of 8, her curiosity about how things work inspired her to pick up a book called A Boy's First Book on Electronics. Thomas attended a girls' high school, and at the time her science subjects were not considered important or appropriate for women. No one encouraged Thomas to take the advanced math classes offered at her school, and she continued to view her technical abilities as an exploration above all else. In college, that changed when Thomas entered Morgan State University as one of only 2 women in her class studying physics. She was an honors student and soon acquired a mathematical background that led her to become a math/data analyst for NASA. While managing the NASA Imaging System project, Thomas' team led the development of the first satellite to transmit images from space. NASA still uses the technology developed by Thomas to this day. 6 Mary Jackson. Black female technology pioneer with computer. Mary Jackson was the first African American female engineer to work for NASA. She graduated from Hampton Institute in Virginia in 1942 with a dual degree in mathematics and physics in 1951. She began her computer work at NACA's Langley Memorial Aviation Laboratory, the predecessor of NASA. At the time, computers were the ones manually doing complex mathematical calculations for program engineers. Mary Jackson worked with African American women in the Western Region Computer Department. Because of racist practices, black employees were required to work in separate locations and use private bathrooms and dining areas. In 1953, Mary Jackson worked as an engineer performing experiments in a high-speed wind tunnel. She saw Mary Jackson's talent as an engineer and suggested starting an engineering education program that would help her grow from a mathematician to an engineer. She completed her program in 1958, the year NACA became NASA. Mary Jackson spent the rest of her career working for women's empowerment at NASA. In June 2020, NASA renamed the NASA headquarters building in Washington, D.C. Mary W. NASA headquarters in Jackson. 5. Marie Van Britten Brown. Black woman in the first home security system. Illustration. In the 1960s, Marie Van Britten Brown created the first home security system. After Brown returned to her home late at night from her nursery job, she created this invention to protect her home in Queens, New York. Her field of vision consists of a peephole, a camera, a monitor, a panic button, and a two-way microphone. Marie's home security system was patented in 1969 and continues to influence surveillance systems today. 4. Kimberly Bryant, founder of Code for Black, after school, and summer programs. An electrical engineer with a background in everything from electrical companies to biotech. Bryant is committed to increasing the number of women of color in STEM fields through her company, Black are Working Hard for Girls Code. This program teaches computer programming to school-age girls in after-school and summer programs, to teach programming to 1 million black girls by 2040. 3. Mark Dean. IBM. Dr. Mark Dean, a black man who made many technological advances for the, joined IBM in 1980 and soon became part of the team that developed the revolutionary IBM PC 5150, launched in 1981. He created the ESA bus for the PC, and his name appears on 3 of the 9 original patents defining the underlying technology of the IBM PC. For his many accomplishments at IBM, the company named Dean an IBM Fellow in 1995, one of 50 active employees and the first African American in 1999. Dean led a team at IBM to develop a 1 GHz processor. 2. Jerry Lawson. Self-taught engineer, home game console. Self-taught engineer Jerry Lawson changed the gaming industry forever. In the mid-1970s, as head of development and marketing for game company Fairchild Semiconductor, Lawson created the first home video game console with interchangeable cartridges. Lawson's gaming systems were not as popular as those that followed, such as Nintendo and Sega, but his designs changed the game from individual games stored on the hardware to multiple games that could be swapped out. 1. Saranyat Barak. Black female developer, podcaster, and connector. Saranyat Barak is a developer and founder of Code Newbie. Code Newbie is a supportive community of programmers and those learning to code. Like many in the Learn community, Saran learned to code by participating in a Ruby on Rails boot camp, Hooray, Career Jump. While working as a developer, she started a Twitter chat to connect new developers to share lessons learned, share resources, and support each other through the difficult process of learning to code. The chat's popularity has grown into a podcast where Saran interviews people of all skill levels, from beginners to tech leaders, and discusses their journeys. Saran also uses her platform to promote her skills around the world and support beginners. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to our channel before you go.